Introducing the AC GamePrep. It's a card reader installation tool that was made for novices to be able to install card readers, as well as a seasoned pro so they can test power supplies and do some cool stuff with games to add, incremental LEDs, for example. It also allows you to safely confirm, you're on the right coin wire. So some games aren't as obvious as others, and I'll show you some pictures of that here in a little bit. But it allows you to connect to the UCL harness or to the ticket dispenser and coin, and also to non-redemption jumper harnesses that we have. So let's go see how it works. Here I've got my non-redemption harness. I've connected it to what I believe to be 12 volts, which was the coin light. And I'm going to go ahead and plug it in, and we're going to see it come to life. When it comes to life, I see live the voltage that I'm connected to, 12.5 something volts. And under load, it'll allow me to put a 1 amp load on that power supply to see really how beefy the power supply is and that it's adequate for a card reader and possibly more. So when I press load test, I'm going to get a red line here that shows the under load the voltage drop. The less the drop, the better the power supply. Here we had a fair bit of a drop of 0.7 of a volt from normal down under load. So really this power supply, it's adequate for a card reader, but I'm not going to get a bunch of LEDs on top of it. The next thing it allows us to do is test the coin switch. So let me plug in the coin wire, or what I believe to be the coin wire. Now, a lot of newbies on games that aren't quite so straightforward might connect the coin switch to power. And that's really not a good thing to short power to ground. It can cause damage to the game, damage to the card reader, you name it. So to confirm it, what the GamePrep allows us to do is safely try to do a coin switch, and it'll take the harsh voltage if I was connected to power, for example. So here I've got 50 millisecond coin pulse. I can try it. And there I got a 50 millisecond coin pulse in yellow, matching the coin wire. And I can see that it dropped to ground and I got a coin in the game. We can try a longer coin pulse width maybe for an old game that might require something a little bit longer. And there you can see we did a coin pulse at 110 milliseconds. Our coin, you can see the voltage on the coin wire. It went to 0 and came back to around the 4 volts. Let's say I accidentally hooked it up to 12 volts of power. And you can see I've got 12 volts measured on the coin switch. Let me go ahead and try to test that coin. And you can see it didn't even move. So obviously I'm on 12 volts. Under coin test, it doesn't bring the drop to ground. It's taking the harmful effects of power on a switching voltage. The last thing is ticketing, and we'll go to a ticket machine and take a look at that. The ticket test is going to save a lot of time and a lot of headaches for a lot of installers. The first thing it's going to do is measure the voltage of the ticket drive line. Most ticket dispensers, until they turn on, are at 0 volts, and when they turn on, they go up to something. So we can go through a set of preset tickets per second. Here's 6.7, here's 14.3, here's 20 tickets a second, and you can infinitely adjust this where you can take it down to see how fast you can really count tickets. And if the game will allow, you could count up to 50 tickets a second, and some games will allow you to do this. So when tickets come, a white line will be drawn showing the voltage on the ticket drive. And there you can see we're counting 50 tickets a second. And when the white line goes back to ground, we counted 143 tickets. Here's 10 tickets a second. And the other thing it provides is the threshold voltage recommended for your card reader setting. It also will show you the notches that are on the blue line, which matches our wire harness, that we are bringing it to ground from the switching voltage.